Okay, finally. I had to switch to a different platform because Chrome wouldn't let me go live. It was just taking too long to see the circle going around and round and round and wouldn't let me come in. So I see that the mic is okay, so you can hear me, whoever wants to listen. I know I don't have a whole lot of subs, but I wanted to talk about the September situation. I think this is a sensitive subject because it that up is because I want to remind people that it was not a terrorist attack. Okay. If anybody studies or at least looks into Freemasonry, which I read in this book right here, right, called Horse by William Cooper, right? And when you turn into chapter two, it says secret societies and new world order. Now, I'm going to connect that a little bit later, but the September situation, which is called 9/11, right? And if my channel gets taken down for that, that's fine. But I just want to expose it because, I mean, I'm not the only one. I'm not alone. People have been exposing this for a long time. Um, Airplanes have a certain amount of fuel in a commercial airline, right? I've flown in an airline, right? Turbine engines are one of the most uh greatest engineering things on an airplane. It is the greatest engineering thing on an airplane because what it does is it creates, if you don't know, like we all have nerves, right? There's the turbine engine turns, or both of them or four of them turn, and they create energy through the electricity that's in the air. Just like there's lightning, just like anything, there is electricity in the air in some way, right? Now, I'm not a scientist, but I know that because when I burn myself, I feel nerves. Now, if I feel nerves in my and pain in my body when something like that happens, then I know that there's um um what is it called, protons and neutrons and everything um in the air. So when a plane is flying and they call it the airplane, right? So they call it the airplane, and I'm gonna keep it like I'm a 6-year old, right? Even though I'm 51, I'm gonna keep it like I'm a 6-year old, okay? Because and it flies through the air over a plane, not over a globe or a ball or whatever people want to call it. It doesn't dip its nose down for every, dip that it has to go. It flies straight, right? And flight patterns are kind of crazy because they you know um they might do it for safety reasons, to say, okay, well, I'm going from Alaska to Russia, and that's like, according to the map, it's right across, right? So, but they want to, I guess, make money and charge the customer, the flight person, uh, to charge them more money because oh, well, you have to go over here and over there. Whatever, I don't care about that. But okay, now back to 9/11. Now, the Twin Towers, right, as we know it, it wasn't a terrorist attack. Planes cannot demolish uh, a tower. I don't know how many stories it was. It was probably over 100 stories, just like the Willis Tower, or the Sears Tower, as it was called when I was younger. Um, you can't. It's that's what it's called. It was a demolition. Okay, a plane, no matter how much fuel it has, no matter how much fuel it has, it cannot demolish 2 feet of iron from top to bottom. A hundred stories, or however many stories it was. I know it was at least 100, and it cannot destroy and demolish that tower. Those towers went straight down. If the plane was strong enough to do it, that the top part would have tilted at some point in whatever direction, just like you chop a tree down, right? You chop a tree down in a certain direction, it'll fall because it'll fall in the direction that you're chopping it. You're chopping it like in this direction, it'll fall that this way, or I'm sorry, this way. I'm sorry, whatever. If you chop it in one side, whatever side you chop it on, it's gonna fall on that side, because then you chop the weakest point. So, I mean, this is not a new story for truthers. Um, a lot of people call it well, not a lot, but I know some people call it the September situation, because they don't want their channel be taken down. And in fact, they've gone to different platforms to expose these kind of things. And it's really important that see, it's really important for people to realize this. And I wanted to say was, here, I'm trying to bring another video up. I wish I had StreamYard. It would be a lot easier. Um, okay, so back to, so 9/11 is, listen to me. Freemasonry is real, okay? And when I read this book when I was like 18 years old, and I was like, this is crazy. I don't believe this. At first I didn't, but I read it like 3 times. I had to read it 3 times because I couldn't believe it. And there's so much satanic stuff in here, the government, that it'll drive you nuts. Um, see, what's another chapter in here? Another chapter that see, look, the secret government, chapter 12. Now it's serious stuff, man. This is like, it's never gonna end. Um, and this was published in 1990, I think it was. Yeah, I just started college at that point. Now, I want to show you this. If you can, like, who's in control of this place that we live in, this world that we live in, right? And he breaks it down really well. And that was back then. Now it's different, right? Now there's so many other people that are involved, and every president in the US or any other president in any other country is involved in this. So you have to this is the reason why I don't vote nationally. Now, if there was some corrupt stuff going on around by where I live in my town, then yes, I would vote locally. But everything seems okay. The only thing that I think is corrupt is the police station. because they want to arrest anybody and everybody that they can. And that's why I love First Amendment auditors because they go and investigate, and police are tyrants. They are tyrants. Some no, there's I'm not saying the thing is there are good police officers or police women, right? But then there are the tyrants that just want to bully you. I was bullied when I was a kid for, with a couple of people, but I survived it. It made me stronger. And so, you just have to be careful with who you trust in the government system. Just like there's Dalton, for example. I live in Illinois, right? And Dalton is about 45 minutes away from me. And Thornton Township, which Tiffany Henyard is out. And that's the problem with politics. One of them is when she took office, so to speak, or what she says, a black woman in power. Doesn't matter if you're black or white or Mexican or Asian. You don't say I'm in power. You, you should say I should listen to the people, to your trustees. And that's the way it should be. So that's why I don't like to vote because I don't know who I'm voting for sometimes. I don't know if they're gonna turn once they start making like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Then are they gonna change? I think in my town they don't very make very much money, but it's good. It's good to learn about these things that people, uh, YouTubers, YouTubers expose because if it wasn't for them, well, I already knew it anyway, but if it wasn't for them, I would know more than what I already know. So it's good to learn from other people. So, um, so just be aware, man. Be aware of like your surroundings and be careful who you trust because a lot of I'm trying to look through this book real quick. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff in here that he exposes. Okay, so William Cooper, a lot of things. He exposed a lot. And so now I'm getting a warning. My connection is unstable. See, this is why I don't like YouTube because it's just it's they just I remember, okay, I'll talk about this and I'll do it in code words. I remember talking about the jab, and if you can understand that, the jab is obviously a jab, like here or in your butt or wherever. And that's like, to me, that's a foreign substance that's going into your body. I would rather get sick than put some whatever it is substance into my body, which I don't even know what the ingredients are. Well, actually, I do know some of it. Mercury, aborted babies, uh, like not real. I mean, I'm talking about the blood and it's disgusting, and the flesh of a aborted baby, and and it's like they put that together. And obviously, I don't know if you know, but I know that mercury is is a killer substance to humans or any other species like animals or whatever. So be careful with that jab. When I haven't seen my doctor in a while, which I don't think I will again, but um, be careful with taking that because I remember seeing signs, huge signs that say free flu vax. I'll say vax, right? I know this channel's gonna get taken out. I'm gonna get a strike, but I'll go ahead and keep going. And if you see a sign like that, if it's free, people are like, "Oh yeah, it's free. I'll take it." It's the worst. It's like the most corrupt thing that I can think of that the government does. Because you know why? They pay these stores, these pharmacies to do it. Like people talk about, oh, are we gonna have World War III? We were in World War III with the whole jab situation and the mask wearing in the whole every state, every country, everyone had to wear a mask. I was one of the only ones that didn't, and I was never booted out of any place. Just like people see it, they watch the news, they watch the tell live vision, and they believe whatever they see. And it's disgusting. It was disgusting for me. I remember working at Amazon. It was around 2020. Yeah, it's when it all started. And they everyone had a they didn't have to I didn't have to wear a mask, but everyone had to stay 6 feet apart. Now think about that number. 6 feet. Who in what doctor comes up with 6 feet? And they call it social distancing, right? Social distancing. That's how you divide and conquer. That is a war right there against humans. And I remember watching. This is funny. I remember watching people driving by themselves with a mask on. I'm like, what do you really? That's how controlled they got. And let me see. Um, I can pull it up on my channel. Well, I have a video that I put up at that time period where people were standing in line. They weren't 6 feet apart, but they were like, within a couple of feet. And there was a long line to go into the small Mexican grocery store. And I was looking at it like, wow, this is how programmed the government is making people. And I was disgusted by it. I made a video on it and it was like crazy, man. And I was like, I was on my way to work and I was trying to get, I don't really drink coffee, but I was trying to get some coffee and a donut or not a donut, but a cupcake or whatever. A muffin. It was a muffin. And I saw this and I was like, man, this is crazy. People are getting so programmed. It's unbelievable. And it's still happening. I occasionally see people still wearing masks because now it's engraved in their mind. It's like watching your phone. Like watching your phone, like constantly, like, oh, like when you if you ever go on break at work and you're in the lunchroom, everyone doesn't really talk to each other. They're just like magnetized to their phone. And it's like at some point you gotta give it up. You gotta at least try to socialize with people. And okay, I want to go back to the 6 feet apart. Think about that number. 666. They did that on purpose. It's a satanic number. And I'm not even religious, but I know that number is satanic. So you have to at least question things. Be careful with what is happening. That's why I don't watch the news because I don't want to be programmed anymore. I haven't watched the news in years. I don't even remember the last time I watched the news, unless it was for no, I don't even watch the news. I just if I wanna watch the weather or look for the weather if I'm going outside, I'll look on my phone real quick and say, "Oh, it's gonna be 44 degrees today." I'll have to wear something, warm to or is it if it's raining, I maybe might stay inside, but that's it. Don't get programmed by the news. So, anyway, um, just hear what I'm saying, and then if you wanna read this book, it's called wait, hold on, let me put it this way. Whoops, there it is. Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. Now, I read this book, like I said, when I was 18, and, let's see, what's the other thing I want to mention in this book that I thought was really crazy, which is okay, yeah, there's a few things that I wanna mention. The only thing I didn't like about William Cooper is I remember sorry, in 1984, the Los Angeles Olympics, when the Olympics ended and they were gonna have the ceremony, there was, like, this fake UFO with a fake alien landed on the Coliseum, and you could tell it was all rigged, man. You could tell he was in a uniform that person was in a uniform, and, William Cooper, well, people call him Bill Cooper, he's dead now, but, uh, he oh, yeah, here's the oth oh, yeah, wait, hold on, I just found it. Okay, I'll get back to that in a bit. So, this fake alien just starts speaking out and whatever. I don't even remember what the stupid fake alien said, but there are no aliens. The only aliens are and even Americans call aliens like Mexicans that are or migrants that are not citizens. They call them aliens, so they're alienated by the government, just like any other country. You're an alien. You don't belong here, right? I get it. I understand. But there are no aliens with huge eyes and, like this crazy looking head. And, it's just all, look, it's a show. It is a show. So just, I don't know how to say this, but it's real, man. Let me go to, here. I want to go into one more thing. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, just hold on. Okay. Oh, okay, real quick, so I can copy. So in this video, you're gonna see here. Let me post it in the chat. See if anybody wants to look at it. It's up to you. It's free information. This is a it was posted on a YouTube video by a pilot. So it's not just some random person. Okay. So in this video, pilot is filming the sun within the clouds. So the sun is not, what do they say? It's 93 million miles away, when the heliocentric model is taught to us that the heliocentric model, that this ball supposedly that we live on, is about 25,000 miles, 25,000 miles in circumference. Now, if a pilot can see the sun within the clouds, which I've seen it, I've seen them. You've seen like the moon within the clouds. So the sun and the moon are very, very local. That's why this place is so special. Now, I don't know what creator or creators that there are out there. I don't know if it's just the sun and the moon. It could be a lot of things. It's not a person. It's not a gender. Okay. Not a female. There's no vagina and there's no penis. I'll make it very blunt. Okay. It's something we don't know, or some things that we don't know. But we have to appreciate what we have. When there's flowers that grow, trees that grow, ponds, lakes, rivers, grass, people, dogs, whatever. I mean, uh, animals, whatever. I'm not going to name all the animals, but there's all kinds of different species, birds. They're they're all made for a reason. I guess, part of the ecosystem, so to speak, if I can call it that. Um, so you have to be careful with that, and uh, so yeah, we live in a special place. So appreciate it for however long you live. I know I'm not going to live. Uh, you know, I'm not. I know I'm not going to live forever. I'll tell you that. I'll just say it that way. But I do appreciate the things that are out there. And, um, when it gets a little bit warmer, I'll definitely go out for walks again, like I used to. Um, but yeah. Oh yeah, the other thing, not to go into negative note, but okay. So I'm gonna read it out. I'll show it to you real quick. In this book, it says it's a devil worshiper. Hold sensitive army post and top brass say no problem. So I mean, there's so much satanic stuff in this government that you won't believe. It goes through the army. It goes everywhere, and you just like people who are religious. It's cool, man. You know. Here, look. Here's another one. See that? They were planning this. They were planning this since at least the 1990s. I heard it was 1984 when they started this crap. I'm glad I never took the jab. Uh, so anyway, I'm getting frustrated just talking about it, just thinking about it. I know a lot of people have a better temperament than I do, but this is troubling. So at least look into it. At least you can actually. I'm pretty sure you can find this on audio. It could be like this is what is it? Oh, about 500 pages, over 500 pages, and I've read this 3 times. Okay, and it is disturbing. When I first read it, I was like, no way, this is BS. And I said, I'll read it again. And then I was like, wait a minute, okay, all right. Then I read it a third time, and then I started to ask questions. I'm like, wait a minute, why is this? Why is that? Why is and it was just like what it's there's nothing wrong with saying why, because why is a very important thing to open up your mind to truth, to the real truth. That's why I'm not religious, because I don't know which God is right. I don't know which Bible is right. In fact, I don't even care. But if you're a good person, that's all that matters. So on that note, I'm gonna end it nicely, even though I know I'm frustrated just even talking about it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it now, but I appreciate anybody who subs my channel and who listens to what I'm saying and at least take it in at face value. Uh, and it's not like I just woke up the other day and started doing this. I did started doing this. Actually, I started doing this when I was like I think I was like 15, 14 or 15, and it was a classroom. They called it social studies, which is basically just American history, right? Or according to the book, the books of American history, Christopher Columbus discovered. Now, this is the main word. Discovered this place called America, right? How do you discover a place when there's people living here already? When well, they call them the American Indians, but I just call them what they were called. Well, what I would just call them is indigenous people, because they didn't live under a program. You can't discover. It's like me. You can't discover a territory that's already when people are already living there. And I started questioning the teacher, and I was like, wait, I don't understand this." And I turned the page back, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, but weren't the Indians? They call them Indians. Weren't the Indians living there already? How do you discover? How did he discover?" It's like me going into somebody's house, and I'm like, "Oh, I just discovered this, and now it's mine." And I start killing people, right, to take it over. No, that's what happened. You don't do that. So I started being a truther since I was young. It's just use your common sense. It's that simple. Just use your common sense. So anyway, I'm gonna take off. I know it's late, but I couldn't sleep. Uh, so I'm going to just go ahead and head out of here. Um, and anyway, take care. I love you all, and appreciate you all. Whoever subbed my channel, and I wish the best for all of you. Thank you. Bye.